Hello everyone, happy Sunday. I am just pulling up my notes really quick before we get started. I'm a little behind because my dog decided she wanted to walk right when I was getting ready to start this stream. So let me pull up my notes real quick. So basically I wanted to do a tutorial today for basically just going over super basic stuff that anyone can do, not specifically someone who wants to be a creator, but maybe there's just objects in the game that you want to modify. One thing that comes to mind is mirrors, for example. A lot of the mirrors are stuck at a certain height, so you can't move them up and down. So small things like that, being able to change the settings so you can adjust the mirror height placement, also making items so they can go into slots or maybe changing their slotting size. So those are some of the things I plan on going over. Let's see who's here. Hello, HPA Rune, Mr. Red Joseph. Yes, you want to adjust mirror height. I know. So I think actually the reason they do the mirror height the way they do is because there are interactions on the mirror with the sim. I think they can like gussy up and practice speeches. So they put them at a certain height so it matches up with like the sim's height, but it doesn't really make sense. Or it does make sense, but decor-wise, it's kind of frustrating. All right, let's see who else we have in here. So I have some questions already that I'm going to start with that I got from patrons, but if you guys do have questions as we go, or if there's other topics you want me to go over, let me know. So let me pull up. So Sims 4 Studio, I will link this below. And let me open my desktop for you all. I tried to clean up my folders a little bit for this, but my messy folder system is going to show at some point, I'm afraid. And this might be one of them. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So there are actually two programs you can use. I personally use Sims 4. Oh, thank you. That Sims lady, my wonderful admin as always, she is sharing the links for Sims 4 Studio. So you can download these. They're both on Mac and Windows. So I'm using the Windows version here. But there is also a Mac version. And there also is the Sims Resource Workshop. So I actually use a blend of both of these. The Sims Resource Workshop actually has a lot more powerful tools than the Sims 4 Studio. You can do a lot more in it, but the user interface is not really, I think it's harder for beginners. I definitely think that Sims 4 Studio is much easier to grasp and work your way through. Even still today, I love the UI here more, but yeah, maybe more advanced topics, we can get into that. So the first topic I'm going to go over was from one of my patrons, Elizabeth. She said, do you know how to make existing objects stackable? I would love to learn how if you know how to. So I actually thought a really good example for this would be the little boxes that came with Dream Home Decorator collection. So this is the Sims 4 Studio window when you just open it. And let me see. I have a zoomed version of my desktop that we used last time. Okay, yeah, there we go. It's a little bit better. So you just need to put your creator name in here. And since we're going to be working with objects, this is the window we're going to be in here. Now you'll see there's a few different options here. It's standalone recolor, create 3D mesh, override, or selective clone. So we're going to do a selective clone. Now, if you're doing this just for personal use, you can override the objects. I would recommend not overriding. The downside of this is you will have a little bit build by catalog clutter, just because you're creating a second object, but it also ensures that the original object, if EA does make any updates to it, that you're going to receive or that object will get the correct updates if you make changes. So I pretty much always do selective clone. And first it's going to pull up this catalog. So you can filter here by game pack. You can do game or custom content, and then you can search, and also the debug catalog, which if you've never been through the debug catalog, it is actually really fun to just look through stuff, you know. I love little stuff like this. So it is just fun, even if you aren't a creator. It's just fun to look at stuff. And actually, that is one topic I'll go over, because there are actually debug items that you can't place in the game at all. They're in a totally hidden category, which isn't visible even with show world objects and show hidden objects. So I'll remind me if I forget to do it to show you that at the end. So I'm just going to search box, and this was the box I was talking about. So the original question was how to make this stackable. So we'll go ahead and click next now that we've clicked this box. We'll want to renumber it. This is going to give it a unique instance ID. This is basically what is making it not an override. Basically always want to have all of these checked. And here specifically the all swatches, this is going to give you all color options. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Little Deca's here. You don't need this tutorial, but we're so glad you're here. You're the master here. Okay, so you can just click choose whatever file path you want. And then here we'll do box slot settings. So you can name it whatever you want. Just try and be descriptive with it so you can find. Little Deco, we're learning how to add slotting to objects. So right now I have this blue background. You can kind of change these if you want it to be white. I'm going to go ahead and make it white for this tutorial. And I want to get real close in here to show you what these slots look like. So if I hold down Shift and right click, you can move it up and down. Now I'm going to zoom in. This is me using my mouse wheel, zooming in and out. So now we have a pretty good view. And when I right click without holding Shift, you can rotate. So the slots are under this tab right here, Rig Slots. And right now there are no slots here. So in order for this to be stackable, we would need to first make sure the box itself can go into slots and that it has a slot itself on the top of it. So let's first go make sure it can go into slots. I'm pretty sure this can. What I did was just click this warehouse tab, and I know this looks scary, but all of this stuff up here at the top, these are just string tables. The string tables just hold this information here. It's just the text. So you can skip that. I always like to filter by type. And then you'll see here it's organized. Now right away here with the object catalog, we can see all of those pretty swatch colors. The object catalog is what is going to hold the information for slotting. So one thing that's really important is each one of these swatches, if we make any changes, you need to repeat those changes for all of the object catalogs entries, which would make the change happen for each swatch. So what we'll do is I'll make the changes for maybe just one of these, so then we can kind of test and see the differences. So, object catalog. There's a bunch of stuff up here at the top. Since we're talking about slots, we'll just scroll down to where we see the slots. It's almost near the bottom. And right here we can see slot deco size, slotting behavior. Now these two numbers are tied together. So if I change one, it changes the other. So right now, EA had originally given this a slot deco size of 2. So there's 3 sizes, 1, 2, and 3, which correlate to small, medium, large, with 3 being large, 1 being small. So it already had a slot deco size of 2, so that's okay. This is one thing you might find yourself wanting to change a lot. Sometimes EA, I'm pretty sure that really small tissue box is also a slot deco size of 2. And I always try and make, whenever I do clutter items, I always make them a 1. And I do that because whenever you have like a desk or a table, actually I'm going to pull this up on the side so we can see that. Whenever you have a slot or table, most of the slots are going to be small. So if you make your clutter have the smallest slotting settings, it's going to be able to go into more slots. So let me just find a good table. None of them really have tons of slots, but the most of them, the majority of the slots will be small. So it's table slot demonstration. Sorry, I know this is a little bit out of the window. I'm like super zoomed in because these windows are really small. And the nice thing is here you can see you can always open 2 windows, which I actually do a lot. Just if you're trying to like compare settings between 2 things, you can have 2 windows open. So with the table, I'm going to go over here to rig slots, and you'll see here we have these medium and then small, and there's actually no large slots on here. So right now, because I changed it to, so because this is a 1, which means it's small, if we were to try and put it on this table, we could go into any one of these slots, right? These are all small slots. If we were to use the original slot deco size of 2, it would only be able to go into these 3 slots. So that's the reason I always try and put 1 into all of my clutter items, just because it gives you the most options for placement. So I'll go ahead, I'll just change this pink swatch just so we can see the difference. And let's actually, on this red swatch, let's put a 3, which is large, just so kind of experimenting and playing around. And this is actually how I learned. So again, many of you might not want to be creators, but this is kind of a good way to test different settings too, if you want to put different, slot sizes on here just to kind of play around and see how they work. But all right, we changed that to 1. So we do know that this object can be slotted because of the settings in the object catalog. So the question originally was, how can we make this stackable? And now, in order to make this stackable, we need to add slots just like the table has here. So typically, if I were doing this, I would export this into Blender and get an exact height. But because I wanted to gear this towards beginners, I'm going to show you a way we can kind of estimate the height. So you can kind of just guess and check. So let's first throw a slot in there. It's really easy to add a deco or slot. You just go here to the rig and slot tab and we'll do add. And the naming for this is all pretty conventional. If you ever forget, you can open up another package. And we're just going to do _deco medium 1. And the reason you're not seeing anything is because it's under here in the bottom and we can't see it. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. Now we have X, Y, Z. X is going from left to right. Y is going into the screen. And then Z is vertical. So let's just do 0.5. Okay, so right, this is super high. So you can kind of guess and check what this value is, but a real quick way is that if you actually go into here and go into the model LOD, there's actually information in here on the height of the object. So, and I actually think it's also in footprint. Let's see, or cutout info table. So there's a few different places we can get it in here without having to export it into Blender, having to download Blender, export stuff, open it up. So right here, I just grabbed the cutout info table. And this is kind of one of the wonky things about Sims4 Studio. This is not XYZ, it's XZY. But here we can see the value is 0.205. That is the height of it. So I'm just going to hit Control-C to copy that value. Hop back over here, put that in, And that looks like pretty much right on top. So that's a pretty good way to estimate it without having to go into Blender. So it is an extra step having to go into the warehouse. You can also just kind of eyeball it. You don't really need this much precision. Like if you did 0.2, it would be just fine. It might sink into there just a little bit. But if you do want precision, like me, I'm a former engineer, so I love having like 12 decimal places, but you don't really need that much precision. So at this point, we are ready to go to make this a stackable object. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And if you remember, we did the pink swatch was 1, the red was a 3, and the rest are 2. So in theory, these red boxes should not be able to stack on top of each other, but all the other ones should. And one last thing what I'm going to do before I go in is either in the description or up here, what's in the box, we'll do stackable. Just make a comment on it so it's easy to see which one's yours. And then one cool trick here, if you do this pipette, which is like the shift backslash, anything you put behind this pipe will be hidden but searchable. And so I actually always use this test because I can't search Ravasheen anymore or RVSN because too much stuff comes up. So I actually always try and throw a ton of tags into here for you all to make searching easier and just as a good habit. So I'm going to clear out my testing folder real quick. Oh, let's just go ahead and throw these. I have a lot of stuff in progress right now. I meant to clean this out before, but we'll go ahead, throw that away. I just don't want to clutter up or show you guys some of the super secret stuff I'm working on. Dang it, I keep writing 2021. It's not 2021 anymore. Okay, so I always typically work in a separate folder. I don't work directly in my mods folder. So because I now want to test this, I need to move it to my mods folder. So you can just do a save as, and then I just have a testing CC folder. This is just within my mods folder and box slot settings. We'll go ahead and save that and we should be good to go. So let's boot up the game. Get Sims 4 up here. Hopefully my computer's about to sound like an airplane, so I meant to move my microphone to the other side of my computer so you didn't hear it as much, but I haven't done that yet. So whenever Sims comes on, it's almost like an AC unit next to me. All right, what house do we want to test in? I think we did Goss last time. But y'all are going to... Sims Lady taught me who the land grab family was. She schooled me last time because last week I didn't... I knew who they were, but I didn't actually know after she showed me a picture, I was like, okay, I know who they are. But I didn't know the lore behind them or anything. So, okay. Pancake. Oopsie. Okay, these are my builds, you guys. This is the new world I created last week to show the mannequin bug fix, and you can already see I've destroyed it very much. So yeah, we'll go to Pancake, and they are in Don't Tell Me. They're in Willow Creek. Am I right? Yeah, they're right here, aren't they? Ooh. Was I right? Oh yeah, here they are. Oh, and remember, Sims Lady, we have been talking about doing a glow up challenge for their house because it has so much potential, but it's very dated. And I didn't know they slept in separate bedrooms either. And I also was surprised that they didn't have a kid because I guess I first played with them with a gallery download, and they have a kid in the gallery, but not in the game. Okay, so let's go find those boxes. So I will show you here. So test. And if you see that the test I put in there does not show up. So in theory, these should be stackable. So let's test it out. There we go. Look at that. So that's pretty much how easy it is. And then we did do a couple different versions. So let's make sure that that theory worked. So the theory, or not theory, but for demonstration purposes, we made this red one be a slot, or it would be a slottable item only into a large slot. So you see it doesn't, and I guess I have BB move objects on, but it doesn't slot onto these because it's large, but all of the other ones will. So that's kind of how those numbers work with the two different, with all the different options. So again, there's 1, 2, 3, which 1 is small, 2 is medium, 3 is large. Now, I will say, the one problem you are going to run into with stackable objects like this is the wallpaper deletion problem. So if you don't know what that is, it is when you have multi-parented items, it's going to delete all of the ones with multiple parents. So what I mean by that is this one, if you see, it kind of glows a little bit. So this top box, its parent is this box, right? So parent, child. This one is basically child, parent, grandparent. So this one is double parented. Now, when I go and change the wallpaper, it's going to delete this top box. Or it should, unless EA fixed it, which no, yep. Okay, do you guys see that? How when I go to change the wallpaper, it's deleting. Now, this will also happen if you put these boxes on something like up here, right? So now this box is double parented. It's got, this is its parent, this is its grandparent. I hope that all makes sense. But so once you see, here's the wallpaper. So this is the only problem with stacking, making objects stackable, is you run into this problem. I actually found a workaround in the tuning. So maybe I'll write up like a tuning template file you guys can just download and apply to items like this that actually makes them so they don't have this problem. But just for any of you, if you do want to work around Sims Lady, maybe you could link it. I know Twisted Mexi has a mod that prevents this, but actually a quicker fix for it is if you just toggle move objects on or off. And the reason I say on or off is it's just whatever one you don't currently have, just put it on. So you see how they don't get deleted anymore, right? And then if I go do bb dot move objects on, right, it's deleting them. And then it just moves them to the household inventory. So you don't lose them, they just go here, but it's kind of annoying. But yeah, that's one thing you can do. You can just toggle those. But that is one problem you'll run into with stackable boxes. Okay. Anyone have any questions about that? Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next topic. Okay, this question, little Dika, how did you discover the move object thing and how does that work? I discovered that through lots of pain when I was doing my cubbies. And there is actually a way in the tuning file. It's a really simple thing you need to put into your object tuning. I can pull it up and show you. So if any of you are not aware of Law 51, who is a wonderful creator and a friend. He has this amazing website, which if you're interested in getting modding, this is a super user-friendly way to look at the tuning. And object tuning is going to be like what makes a sculpture viewable, or what makes the fridge act like a fridge. So if you go into here and you just go down to objects, I won't get too deep in this because it's supposed to be a beginner tutorial. The script object has a lot of data, so it takes a second to load. But there's actually a really simple trick. This line right here. If you actually disable child footprint in shadow, it's the default is set to false. So if you just copy and paste this line into your object tuning and turn this to true, it actually prevents that child deletion problem. And that also was found by lots of painful time spent on that. EA actually did come up when Dream Home Decorator came out. They did come up with a fix to prevent that deletion problem, but then it broke when Cottage Living came out. So such is life. It has not been fixed. So I actually on my website, which I don't even have hot linked, if you do have, like, this is a problem with the couches and stuff. If you do have the problem where you can't get the sectionals to place correctly, even on the EA couches, I'm pretty sure it's under bugs. Yes, I think it's here. This one. Okay. Yeah, if you go here in the sectional and cubby update status, yep, see, this is when it broke. I had spent months working on this. But I did find a weird workaround. If you place all the modular items at once in one build by session, then things don't seem to delete. So if you have that problem, just head over here and you can find that solution. And little Deco, yeah, I'll show you the only downside with that drop shadow thing is it actually truly does disable the drop shadow for the upper the child objects, which, like, if it's on a table, it doesn't really look that good. But if you're just trying to do like that stacking of those boxes, you can't really see the drop shadow, so it doesn't really matter in that case. So the next question was adding environment modifiers to an object. Actually, that one's a little bit longer, so let me go ahead and do this mirror one really quick, because that's a really fast one. And we'll save the harder ones for the end for the true the people truly dedicated. Because I spent 30 minutes on the slotting, which is actually pretty easy. Okay, so the question was being able to move mirrors up and down because they are typically stuck to one place. Hi, Tachani, hopefully I said that right. Thank you for being with us. And then Sumi asks, is this tuning related to why Dream Home Decorator cabinets disappear on lot loading? Sumi, I will post, or maybe that sim lady can post a link for me. She, for a fix for that. The tuning, the double child slot tuning, I don't know, it's been a bug that's been around forever. Twisted Mexi has a fix for it. I don't know why it does it. The Dream Home Decorator collection came out with a fix, but that fix just completely broke. And I actually don't know why it broke, so. Okay, we'll do this mirror because I know this mirror specifically is one. I'm pretty sure most mirrors are locked. But again, here we'll just go, we're in Sims 4 Studio, you click on the object next. Now, in the case of mirrors, they're not updated that often, so you could probably get away with doing an override. But if you're new, I would just always suggest to go ahead and just make a copy until you're comfortable with things. And like I said, I don't ever really work in my testing folder. I work in a different folder, and then I always copy over. So mirror, demo, move up and down. Now this is a really easy fix. And actually, while we're in here, I'll also show you how to show and hide objects when walls are down. I never know which objects you all like to see when walls are up or down. It's kind of hard. I actually just came out with the light fix because I could not stand the way the lights were always in my way. But so yeah, what kind of objects do you like being shown when walls are down? Because I feel like EA shows ones we don't care about and hides ones that we do. Again, we don't need to make any changes over here in the Studio tab. We're just going to go over here right into Warehouse, filter by type. And once again, we're going to go to Object Catalog. And if you missed my what I talked about in the very beginning, when you make a change to something in the object catalog, it only changes it for that swatch. So if you want to make sure that all of these are able to be moved up and down, we're going to need to make the change to all of these object catalogs. So we'll start with the first one. We'll scroll down, and right here we get to placement flags low. Now you'll see here there is this placement thing right here, edge against wall. So this is what makes it actually snap to the wall. And this is how easy it is. If you want to adjust height on the wall, all you have to do is tick that box, right? And if you don't scroll up and down and you want to just quickly go through these, it actually keeps your place. So as a demonstration, we'll leave the black one unticked. Now, so this is going to let us move it up and down on the wall. It is truly that easy. And the other thing, there's a few other things we can do here. Repeat placement. So if you ever have an object you see and when you click it, and it just shows up again without having to hold shift, that is this repeat placement. So that's something you can easily add to objects. And then the last one is show objects if wall down. So this is where I was telling you, I'm not sure which ones you guys prefer. So you can always expand this if you can't see. So it looks like this mirror is always shown if the wall is down. So if you don't want that, if you want it to be hidden unless the walls are up, you just uncheck that. So these are some, we'll leave it checked. We'll leave the black one as our, basically our stick in the ground, our test. Gosh, I've done so many, our control, our control for the experiment. And then we'll uncheck these ones. So in theory, we should now be able to move this up and down as much as we want. And then it should also be hidden if the wall is down. So we'll save it. And then again here for good practice, let us put adjustable. I always just showing that it's different. And even if this is just for you too, so you can take notes and you can say like, I made this so it's adjustable. Especially if it's just for yourself, just so you know what the difference is if you forget like 4 months down the road and you have no idea what change you made, because visually they look the exact same. So you can add little notes like this. And then again, the pipette trick. So shift / will give you this little pipette, and then you can put your name, and then we'll do test. Save it. If you notice, I haven't done it right now, but I'll save like 10 times. And typically if I'm making changes, always try to make one change at a time. So I'll even do like version 1, version 2, version 3. And that's actually why I don't work in my mods folder. That way I can just put like my most recent version. I know what's working. Okay, so we'll go to my testing folder, mirror demo. We'll save this guy. Make sure you close out of it. You don't want to have anything open when the game is open. And the reason for that being is that it will actually, sorry, let me hide this. It will actually sometimes cause your changes not to be saved. So you always want to make sure when the game is open, don't have any of your like actively editing files as if they're in the testing folder in your like Sims mods folder, don't have them open because it could corrupt your changes. I have definitely lost changes because of that. So let's go to the pancake family again. Hello, Mandy. That is my sister's name. Is this my sister, Mandy? Is this you, Mandy? If so, I miss you so much. It's almost her birthday. Okay, let's go see. You guys, Mandy is the one who has given me so many ideas. Mandy was the one who inspired the photographic memory set. And if this is not my sister, Mandy, then you're getting lots of credit for stuff. Okay. So, again, since I tagged it test, we can find it that way. But let's also just go into the mirror so you can kind of see. This is the only downside, right, is when you do the clone, they look very similar, which is why it's a good thing. You can see I put the adjustable in front of that one. This is just Miracle Mirror. So you can see which one it is. So if you see this one, we cannot place it. We can only place it at one height. So we chose the black color swatch as our control. So this one, look at that. Look at that, guys. Oh, it is my sister, Mandy. Yay. So yeah, it was just as simple as clicking that box. So the other change we also made was making it so these are hidden when walls are down. So look, this was our control. You can see it. I cannot move it up or down. And then when we move, when we put the walls down, this one should be hidden and this one should show. Oh no, it didn't work. I'll have to go look if I checked that right. Let me see. Did we place the right? Did I check it on all of them? Let's see. I'm failing you guys right now. That is how you change it though. I wonder if mirrors just maybe can't. Because that should have worked. I'll have to look at that. In theory, that should work. Little Deca, am I missing something? I'm pretty sure. I thought that's the only way. I know it at least works with paintings. Oh, try to go out of the mirror category. Okay. I wonder if I reload the lot. Let's see. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes Little Deca says sometimes it keeps showing the objects after placement. Yeah, sometimes if something didn't take, I just try reloading the lot. It's kind of like toggling the power button. Okay, let's see. There we go. See? Okay. I was like, I promise that's how you do it. So you see the black one is the only one showing, which was our control. And then there are the other mirrors. They are actually there. So you can do this as well with like cabinets, paintings, stuff like I think fireplaces show when walls are down as well. So yeah, that's how you fix those. So that is the quick fix to making any height mirrors or making them not show with walls down. Now, if you really, I'm going to show you this trick, but promise me you will be careful when you use it. If you just want to make that one change and you don't want to clutter up your catalog, you can do an override. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You only need the object catalog of it. So you don't actually need to, you don't need to have like all of the model LODs. You don't need the object definition, which controls the tuning and all that. All you need is the catalog. So if you really do want to override like a mirror so you don't have two copies of it, what you can do is go to Selective Clone, go to that mirror. Which one did we do? This one. Uncheck everything besides catalogs and uncheck renumber. Okay, We'll go back to CC creating. Oh, what is this one? Dream Home Decorator, mirror. And then if I ever do an override, if you guys notice in my downloads, I always put in capital letters override, so you know. Now, oh, I didn't choose all swatches. So you need to choose all swatches. But if you notice, the warehouse is very clean. There's not any model information here. All it is the object catalog, right? Okay, so this is all you need to change. And what this is going to do is if you do an override this way, a lot of times people will just do an override of the object in its entirety. And like if they change the object definition, stuff like that, it's just, if you're going to do an override, try and override the least amount of information possible. So this is how we would do that. So let me actually go back and do all the swatches real quick. All swatches. And I'll show you it does the same thing. Because we don't need to override like the model data, right? Because we don't want to change how it looks. All we want to change is how it's placed. So we're going to go through really quick and do what we did last time. Again, if you just go through these really quick, it'll hold your spot. So you can just kind of go through them really quickly. Luckily, this only has like a few swatches. If they have a lot of swatches, this can be much more of a pain. So because I'm overriding this, it will make the object in the game act this way. Now, a quick way you can tell this is an override is anytime you see this group with all zeros and the instance number with a bunch of zeros in the beginning, that's an EA item. If it's a cloned item, let me just open the mirror demo we just did. So this is the one I cloned, and you can see the group number is 800 and it's got these super long values, right? So that's a quick way to tell if it's an override or not, if you're ever curious, if it doesn't specify. Save as, testing, DHD mirror override. And we'll go ahead. Like I said, I save it a million times, as always. Let's reboot the game. And then I'll move on to the next topic. Am I going too fast? Are we going at a good pace? Everyone, you all are being so quiet today. Little Deca, I've always wondered if the group 8 and group 0 does anything for objects. I know it matters a lot for fences and other things. I actually don't know. I just always do group, the group with the 8,000, Little Deca. But I know with some, if you're putting images for icons, for like balloon icons, like this would be a balloon icon. It has to be all zeros. It can't be the 8. And also, if you're doing a cutout for like, if you're doing the old method of window cutouts, which I still do, and then generate the new cutout, that also needs to be zeros. Thank you, Jazzy. I'm glad you're learning a lot. I'm glad I'm going at a good pace. Okay, so because we overrode it, this should go here. Okay, so you can see that this is the original one, but it shows this little modded icon on it just to show us that it does. And so you can see this has the same functionality. So both of them are showing up because I actually have both of them in my mods folder. But if you wanted to do an override, this would be how you would do it. You would just copy over the catalog, not the full object itself. Okay, artsimology. Hey, this may seem like a dumb question. Truly, there are no dumb questions. And I say that, one, because none of us know why EA does anything they do. And it's really hard to get into, honestly, when you're starting. So, no dumb question. So, you are totally unfamiliar with CC mods. Has anyone ever made, or could I create a mod that would make the strollers I made in game actually roll? That is an animation. So it is totally possible. It's called locomotion. But it is very complicated. That you're getting into the realm of needing custom animations. And it is possible. But it's definitely more, I don't even do that. So, I know there are tutorials online for animating if you were interested in getting into it, but yeah, making stuff move without using already existing animations is pretty difficult, unfortunately. Okay, so the next question I'm going to go over is adding environment effects to an object. Now, if you notice when you hover over an item, it'll say like plus environment. I actually think the mirror we just did had that. So let's go look at that. Now, what's interesting is even though the tooltip will sometimes say something has an environment modifier, it doesn't actually mean it has an environment modifier. So where it's getting that information from, here I'm just back in that mirror we were just looking at, and I'm going to go down to Object Catalog and Object Tooltip Tags. So this, this one said it had the skill charisma. So this is actually true. This does give you charisma. This value 0, it doesn't always need a value. Sometimes if you're looking for things like power consumption or water consumption, those will need a value next to them. But the skill charisma doesn't. It's just telling you this does grow the charisma skill. So that's not technically an environment modifier. But what I'm going to show you, what you're seeing there is the tooltip tag. This doesn't necessarily have any gameplay impact. There are also, if you go into environment modifiers, now these actually do have some, impact. This one doesn't have any. Let's go and try and find something that does. So again, if you notice, I'm doing a selective clone, and are any of you familiar with paintings? Or any of these like super like focused? I feel like one of these would be. Also, these have also always been my favorite painting. Oh, the clown. Doesn't that one have one? That's got to have one. Yeah, sad clown. We'll see. This should make you sad, I would guess. Okay, and if you notice here, all of my settings are changed because of what I did before. So I'm going to go back and make sure to re-select all of these, with the most important one being renumbering. If you do not have this checked, you are overwriting. Again, I'm not going to be working in my mods folder. We're going to go back to my tutorial file, sad clown painting. Okay, so I think this has a mood modifier. Let's check. So again, I'm just jumping over here to the warehouse tab, filter by type. Don't get scared of all these strings. I know the warehouse was like super scary for me when I first started, but really like all of these strings, it seems like a lot, but most of this information is just text. Sad clown is complicated. What do you mean by that? By what he does? Environment scores. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have any tags here. Well, I will show you. So there's other ways we can do this. There's many ways to cut this. So if you look, this is going to get slightly into object tuning. Now, we're not going to be modifying any tuning. I'm just going to show you what we can actually do is there's lots of different, like kind of, I would say default painting object tunings. And so you can find one that you like and just apply it, and you don't actually need to modify the tuning itself. Oh, it summons a clown. Okay, so I don't want to do... Oh, I didn't know that. This is one thing they kept from the original game, right? I remember this from Sims 1. I don't know why they didn't keep... I'm so happy that Carl from Carl Sims Guide is doing a robber mod. I actually recolored some clothing for him for it to make it look like the original. I'm glad they kept this guy, though. So if you want to look at tuning... Many of you maybe have seen me use this program here, XML File Finder. Now, while this is a really good tool if you're getting really serious into modding, I'm trying to make this for beginners. We want to have as minimal programs as possible. So you can actually look at object tuning within Sims 4 Studio. Now, a really good way to do this is if you go to Tools, Create Empty Package. And then, so here, I'll do Ravasheen. Always try and name them well. Do not name it test like I did here. Ravasheen, object, sculpture, tuning. So if you see, this is a totally blank file. Now, this is normally how I work with all object tuning, but in this case, I'm just showing you how you can look through some object tuning and kind of see what they do. So having it in this totally blank environment is nice because if you guys remember when we were looking at like this mirror demo, when you're cloning an object, you have like all of this other junk in the warehouse that you don't really need. Like if you're just trying to investigate object tuning, we don't need any of that, which is why Tools, Creating Empty Package is so nice. It gives us a nice clean slate. We're going to go up here to Tools, Extract Tuning. Now, if this is the first time you're doing tuning, it's going to take a while to pull up. I pull this up very often, so it's not that didn't take that long for me. So just give it a second if it's your first time. Now you'll see there is a ton of stuff in here. What we're going to be like, there's a lot of stuff here, super overwhelming. We don't care about most of this. What we're going to do is we're going to type in object underscore. Now that's going to filter out most of the stuff for us. There still is a lot of stuff in here you don't want. So if I didn't filter it totally correctly, let's do this. I wonder if we can do it. Object. There we go. So if you type in this object / this is the object tuning type. So this is what we're going to be, this is basically what does the controls, especially, they can be more complicated for stuff like fridges, you know, interactable objects. But if it's just like a painting or a mirror, the tuning's pretty simple. So typically, if it's a painting, it's like sculpture. So you can see this filtered it. Look, there's only a few things here. So you can see we have like sculpture bird, sculpture plaque. Oh, actually, that would be one thing we should do. Remind me, I will show you we can make some of those items in the apartments deletable. So remind me to show you how to do that. So we can see here, sculpture fan, flaming toilet trophy. These ones, no ownership, no view, no possess. So the description kind of gives you an idea of what it is. So this one, for example, object sculpture, inventory craft sales table. So it's a sculpture that can go into an inventory, specifically the craft sales table. This one is a sculpture that can't be owned and you can't view it. So this is kind of basically like a dummy tuning file. No possess, when ghosts come and I think, what pack was that? Yes, gnome. We'll grab gnome. We'll grab gnome too. Chars, this I'm pretty sure means it can be catch on fire. So let's just go and we'll grab some of these. So you can see no swipe. means someone can't, a kleptomaniac can't come. Coraline, you're here. You made it. So I'm glad. We're looking at some simple object tuning. So the cool thing here is because we are in a pretty much empty file, let's just go and grab a bunch of these. No view wall. So you can see these are pretty simple. Sim inventory compatible, tooltip enabled. So the nice thing is a lot of these you don't need to edit them. What this is going to do is we're going to be able to just look at them and then we'll know which ones we want to apply. So you can save this. And also I have all of the packs. So if you don't have all of the packs, you won't have all of these options. You'll only have the options available to you with the packs you have. So let me expand this. I think that was little Deco. That was so genius of you to recommend expanding my view. This is so much smaller on my screen than it is for you guys. Okay. So a lot of these, especially like the sculptures, are pretty simple tuning. So I'm just going to make these kind of small right now so you can see what we're looking at. So the sculptures, they're pretty simple objects. All right, so no view, no transform. This is basically like, I think transform, I've actually never used it. It's with one of you knows more than me. I know there's a transform option with, there's some wand thing. That someone help me out here. What is it called? The wand, transform wand. In one sec, I'm going to take a drink real quick. Did anyone figure out what it was? Wait, what is it? It's this, I don't know what it is. Okay, it's on almost all object tuning, and it's like transform. Simray. Oh, the Simray, that's what it is. Transform object. So, but so as you can see here, this object sculpture, sim inventory compatible. Now you can start to see that we're getting more complicated compared to the no view, no transform. So this is basically the most simple you're going to get. This focus stuff you guys don't need to worry about. Retail component, don't need to worry about. This means it can be stolen, the klepto stolen object, right? And then if any of you have ever seen the cheat set as head, wait, you guys don't know what the Simray is? I thought this was a thing. I thought this was a thing. Is it not? It's definitely, okay, we need to go back to this. Okay, it's from Get to Work. It is something. Okay, I was like, I see this tuning everywhere with the Simray. I don't know what it does either. It's everywhere though. The cheat set is head. If you guys have ever used this in the game, it takes the object and puts it on your Sim's head. But what we're here for, what the original question was, to add a buff to an object or to add an environment modifier. So I'm in here. We can see this no view, right? We're not having the view option. This one, all the differences is the Simray transform as a wall object. Object sculpture world. So you can start to see here, these get more little bit more complex. I hope I'm not going too deep in here for you. But here's what we're looking for right here. This object sculpture world. Right here, if you scroll down to the very bottom, right here, environment scored trait modifiers. This is actually what is going to have a change on the environment around you. So we can see environment score trait modifier. If they are a muser, it is going to multiply their inspired mood by 2. So let's keep that one in mind. It also has this decorative view playful. Some of these other things like the art critic, these are all pretty generic. Art style influencer, assess impression, generic object toddler, checkout, circle constraint. So that's just like a generic, the toddler can view it within this space. So hopefully this isn't too much to look at. Some of the stuff is pretty simple here. This is what is going to enable it to go into an inventory. So like I said, you don't really need to make your own tuning. You can just come in here and kind of look and see what makes sense for you. So, and like if you want to get into modding, you can come in here. But you can also just kind of look in here and see what would work well for your object. It seems the user trait is very popular for having an inspired moodlet. Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. So let's go and let's see. So this one also has stuff, this marketable, higher normal value and higher value. These are the kinds of things where it makes your sim go like admire new possession. So let's go and grab. Now there's lots of different kinds. Oh, here are the gnomes that you wanted. Sims Lady. These are actually kind of more complicated. They do have like object relationships. They also have the mood inspired. So here's what we can do though. If you want to add this to an existing object or an object of your own, we'll go here and do Selective Clone. We'll grab, I don't know, what's the tissue box? Let's turn the tissue box into artwork. Next, again, I'm going to grab all the swatches. Steph, I see your question. I'll talk about that in just a second. So this one's going to be tissue box inspired. So this part is pretty easy. Again, now this is where you get into if you have a lot of, oh, here, let me move this up. If you have a lot of swatches and if you're making a change to the object definition, just as like if you're making changes to the object catalog, you need to do it for every single one. So first, let's tie back to what we said in the very beginning when we were looking at slotting. So I was actually wrong. This is a slot deco size of 1, which is good. But if it was like a 2 or a 3, this is somewhere where you could hop in here, change it to a 1, which makes it the smallest size and can go into anywhere. Object definition. So this right now, this is what it has. And I'm sorry, I was already scrolled down there. But you just scroll down here and you're going to go to tuning ID. Now this prototype retail compatible is basically like a totally blank slate. This means this tissue box cannot be put into your Sims inventory. It cannot go into any object inventory. It doesn't have any moodlets. It is basically like just a piece of 3D created object. So let's go ahead and let's see. We'll go ahead and make it so we can just grab this object sculpture craft sales table. This, if we put this tuning onto the Kleenex, we're not going to change the tuning at all. We are just using pre-existing tuning. It is now going to allow us to store it in the inventory types of Sims, Storage Chest Storm, and Craft Sales Table. It will also let our Sims view it as artwork. Also, these, if they can view it depending on their moodlet, they can view it with some sort of emotion. And if they're a muser, they're going to get a multiplier of 2 for an inspired mood. Now, how we apply this to the tissue box. Hello, Elsa. For anyone just joining us, we are just applying pre-existing tuning onto an object. So We're not going to modify this at all. All we're going to do is we're going to go here, Control C, then we're going to hop over to the tissue box and Control V. Now, one thing you'll notice is this number did not change. So we actually need to change both values. If you don't, it won't actually change. So come back here, Control C, let me grab this guy, and Control V. Now, technically, this number is the only thing that matters. But it's not a good habit to change this and not change the tuning name, because you will be very confused next time you go and look at it. But sometimes it's quick since we need to change all of these. First to go change the tuning ID, and then we'll come back and change this guy. So like I said, this blank part over here, this was just allowing us to kind of quickly understand what the object tuning was and which one we wanted to apply. And now that we got that, there we go. Save this. Let's go and put this into our testing folder. Save. Now, we're not doing anything. This was just a reference folder. We don't need to put this into our testing folder whatsoever, because all of those tuning files, since we exported them from the game, they're already existing in the game. So we don't need to go back and like export or save that file. That was basically just for our reference only. So let's get this game up. How you guys hanging in there? We're an hour in. I don't want to forget to cover. If I forget, remind me. We can delete. I can show you how to change stuff so it's deletable in apartments. And we can also change stuff like making the TVs go in any slot. So if I forget to do those things, remind me. This one is probably the more complicated one with the object tuning. So hopefully I didn't lose too many of you with that, because I know it's a little bit more complicated. Oh, Deco, you reset your laptop. Hopefully it's not broken anymore. We're all waiting anxiously for your next beautiful set. I know what it is, but I'm not going to tell anyone, but it's beautiful. I swear, if I had the talent, just an ounce of the modding or object creation and texturing of little Deca, I would make some beautiful objects. But that's why I mostly stick to tuning now, because I know where my skills lie. Oh, and you guys see, I did not do my good practice, which is relabeling stuff. I did not do it with the tissue box. So that's why you should always do that. I don't know if any of you watch Arrested Development, which is like one of my favorite shows, but me and my boyfriend were always like, and that's why you always leave a note. So if any of you are Arrested Development fans, you'll understand that joke. Okay, so we want the tissue box. I think it's called the tissue box. Yeah. See, well, we can tell it's modified, but there is not any, there's nothing telling us. Now it's interesting because these ones, it already was preset for an environment of 1, but the tuning did not actually have any environment modifiers. So sometimes what the description, the tooltip description says in the game is not actually true. This is especially true with beds. Actually, someone in my Discord the other day, they like made a whole spreadsheet of object definitions. They're for beds, their tuning, and like how much sleep they actually get, and they like made a whole spreadsheet and showed all of like the mismatches because they were trying to understand it. I told them they should post it because it's really helpful. But okay, let's put some tissues around here. We'll put them here. This is a nice perfect spot, just waiting for some sculpture tissue boxes. So if you remember, we made it so, here, let's change the color. Because we changed, that is why you go through all the line items and make all the changes is because if you only did it for one of them, it wouldn't work. That's actually a really pretty red color. But you need to make sure whenever you're in the object catalog, change everything for the object catalog and object definition so it applies to all swatches. If you don't do it to all the swatches, all of the options, it obviously won't work. Now, this is our original. This is the EA one. This is the one we modified. So in theory, if we did this correctly, we should be able to put this in our Sims inventory, and we should also be able to view it. And if one of them are musers, it should inspire their mood if they go into the room. So let's test that. Look at that. So we cannot do anything with this tissue box. We can put this one in our inventory. Ooh, they're burning up. I've actually killed many Sims because I turn autonomy off. Here, Eliza, you can come in here. So you can see he is viewing it. It's a beautiful piece of artwork. Yeah, look at that. That's great. It's so interesting. I have my sound off too for my game. I actually hardly play with sound. I didn't know. Look at Bob Pancakes with his bling. I didn't know he was a cool guy like that. Okay, so look. And he got, look, happy +1, decorated from a good environment. And we viewed it as artwork. And we should be able to swipe this into his inventory. Yep, there we go. And if you had looked at that tuning, it said we could also put it in the storage chest dorm and into the craft sales table. So let's just test that real quick. So this is a small way. This actually has the storage chest dorm tuning type. I know this because I've looked at these objects many times. And sales table. Oh, Sims Lady, you love reds. That should be perfect for you. I know I have BB Move objects on, so forgive me. I'm a cheater. Tissue. So, this might not be live draggable though, actually. That is one thing. I'll go show you that next before we move on to the next thing. If you guys want to know how to make stuff live draggable. Let's see. Yeah, it's not live draggable. So I actually can't show you that this goes in inventory. Let's go fix that real quick. Let's go make that live draggable. Exit game, save and exit. This is also another really small thing you can do if something is annoying you because it's live draggable or not live draggable. This is a quick fix for it. Hopefully I'm not going too much all over the place. My projects, so once again, even though I could make a quick change here into the tissue box, I'm trying to teach you good practices. We are going to go back into our, and if you guys, do you guys see this? Is anyone here a Void Critter fan? It's a little sneak peek at what I've been working on. We're going to go back into our work in progress folder. We're going to go to our tissue box. And let's properly name this like we should. We'll say inspired. Ravasheen test. Okay, so these were not live draggable. So the last change we'll make on these will go back filter by type, come here, object definition. In order to make something live draggable, super easy. All you go to object definition, components. Okay. You never want to mess with any of these. All we're going to do is add live drag. So you go add, click here, type live, or just grab that one, save, repeat. This is the one annoying thing if you have like a lot of colors is you just have to go in and do this multiple times. Now, the nice thing is that if you are making your own object, yes, Lil Dika, it's this easy. This is how you turn live drag on and off. Although there is in tuning, you can disable the ability for an object to be live draggable. So you can disable it and enable it. But in general, it's this easy. So I'll probably, no, I'll do all of them. But if you are making your own object, I always recommend, instead of, before you go and make like all your color swatches, any of that, always go and make sure you have all your settings done correctly in object definition, object catalog, because once you have your settings done for your first swatch, when you add new swatches, it'll take on all of those settings. So the only reason we're having to do this one by one is because we're editing a pre-existing object. But if you were making your own object, make sure you do all the settings on your first swatch. Get all of those settings right, and then add the rest of your colors, because then it'll just inherit all of those settings. Okay. Now, file. Yes, swatches come last. It is a painful lesson that if you are a creator, you probably have learned. So I'm going now, and I'm going to override my testing version in my CC folder. And we'll go here. Yeah, I think I tend to make stuff live draggable too much. I try not. I just love, it's nice having stuff live draggable. And especially because I do focus on a lot of inventory type objects, which, by the way, I have been doing an inventory Hoarder Synonymous overhaul for like weeks now. So it is coming soon, I promise you. There is a lot of complexity, and I'm trying to fix that dang black photo issue. I know why it's happening. I've just been trying to find a solution, so don't worry, that is coming soon. I think, and in my opinion, any item that can be put into object inventory, stuff like collectibles, stuff like that, is nice to have live draggable. So you can see now I can live drag this one, can't live drag this one. Now this is where it comes in use, is now I can live drag this out of his inventory. Otherwise, if it's not live draggable, you would only be able to click on this and do place in world. I think it's nice just to have stuff be able to move easily. And now here, because this object tuning specifically also had the craft sales table and the storage chest storm, we can now store these guys in there and in here. So view inventory, we see him there. Open this guy, right? We can move these guys anywhere we want. Move them out here. Boom. All right, I think we have killed that Kleenex box. So let's move on to the next thing. I've also destroyed slowly. This is how houses get destroyed when you're testing. Okay, let's see. What was the next question I had? All right, what do you guys want to see? Let's make TVs. Do you guys want to see how to put TVs anywhere? Is that an issue even, really? I'm pretty sure TVs can only go into certain types of slots. Let's just show you how to do that real quick. Oh, and I also can show you if there's something on the lot that you can't delete. I can show you how to do that too. Because aren't there objects in apartments, right? I think that you can't delete. Pretty sure there is. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's mostly these TVs. I don't even know if this is a problem for you guys. So if it's not, I can show you something else. But I will say that, okay, I'm debating whether or not I should show you. I'll show you guys how to make the coffee pots and stuff placeable anywhere, but there's a caveat with that. So I'll show you that next. Here, let's go to the TV. We'll show you that since it seems like it is a problem. Okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, I know it's annoying for me, but I assume most of you probably use CCTVs, but okay, live stream tutorial. And again, actually, I always have folders. I never, like, oh, my folders are mad. I'm debating even showing you guys some of this. Gosh, I don't even know which one I want to show. But you should organize stuff, okay? Like, you should organize your folders. Don't just do this, okay? Even if it's messy organization, some sort of organization. Okay, you guys can't see me typing because I'm super zoomed in. But I am naming this. There you go. Ravasheen TV slot fix. So again, I'm doing a selective clone. I'm not doing an override, but you can do an override if you want. With good practice, we are going to go and name this Place Anywhere. And we're going to do the pipe trick. And then hop on over to Warehouse. Whenever you're doing something with slotting, if you're adding slots to an object, you're going to be in the studio view. If you're editing the slotting of the object itself, how it slots into other objects, you're going to be in the Warehouse. And specifically in the object catalog. So let's scroll down here. And if you remember where we went, so right here. So this slot type set. Now, I don't want to get too detailed into what this is. These are very important. You don't want to delete this, okay? But what we can do here, if you remember, this has a slot deco size of 0. So this means it can't go into any decorative slot type. It can only go into this slot type set, which this specifically I think is like, you guys don't need to have this file. This is just something I have. So yeah, it's a specific slot type for TV surfaces, which doesn't really matter because I don't know if maybe at one point they thought they were going to interact with TVs more, but Sims use a remote, so it really doesn't matter. So if you guys want it to go, I would say technically this should probably be a slot deco size of 3, which is the large slot size, but if you want to place it literally almost anywhere you want, just throw 1 in here. It's the smallest size, 1. And again, make sure we're going through all 3 of these. Save it. We'll go save a copy into our testing folder. Save. See how easy some of this stuff is? So that's why I was hoping, and I'm not going to do it on this tutorial. I'll probably do it in my next tutorial, but it's actually incredibly easy to, not incredibly easy, but it's pretty easy to mix and match countertop colors and bases. I don't know, maybe we're already an hour and a half in, but like I know a lot of people don't like the pairings of like the cabinet colors with the countertops, and it's actually something pretty easy almost anyone can do if you want to like go make your own pairings. So I thought I would show that sometime. And also a lot of the countertops, they share like a similar countertop 3D object, so you can even get like more countertop color options from other counters and swap, mix and match them. So I'll do that next time. Okay, let's answer some questions. Oh, Steph, you did ask. Sorry, can you walk through? Well, first of all, we don't say no sorries here. I am here to teach. I asked you all for questions, so you don't need to say sorry. I'm very happy you're here. Can you walk through how I can make my sim stop putting an item on the ground and into their inventory? That is a tuning thing, but doing the live drag would help. Steph, I can help you answer this question. That Sims lady has linked my Discord. If you want help with that, I can help you outside of here. It's a little bit too much for this tutorial specifically. Okay, so TV, let's go. So before that guy could only... Also, by the way, that TV was $2,800. Have you guys noticed how cheap TVs are recently? It's like crazy. I mean, TVs used to be so expensive, and I was at the store the other day, and I'm like, geez, like it's like a 60-inch for like $200. Not really. It was like $400, but... Okay, so you see how this can't go anywhere? This TV. I should turn off move objects off so I'm not like cheating. Although the TV probably won't be able to go on there anymore. But yeah, so see, this can't go on anything. It can't even, oh, it can't intersect other objects. Can it even go on the ground? I wonder. Wow. Yeah, so this can't, like, is this true? Can you really not put these in? Oh, there we go. So it can go on the ground. Which, little Deco, you love your occluders, but look at that. Look at that occluder. I'm not a fan. These little dark spots are occluders, and I don't like them. But little Deco knows how to make them good. Okay, so here is our modified one. And, oh, I have move objects off. But look, see? Now we can put it here if we want. I don't know if that glass table would support that TV, but yeah, so that's really how easy it is. If something's locked, you can just put it. And then the nice thing about making it a 1 slot size is you get options. Like you can put it on any of these spots. This is a really big TV for this area. I'm putting this back on so I can put the TV where it belongs. So yeah, we can put it here. We probably need to adjust it a little bit. But yeah, this is actually kind of cute how they did this little built-in thing. Too bad they don't make the counters or cabinets match the counters ever. So she should still be able to watch this. Let's make sure. Oh, oops, that's Bob. Oh, now they're going to fight over the remote. There we go. See? So, yeah, she uses it just fine. Bob can't walk over here, though. So, I think maybe it's placed too close. But anyways, yeah, that is how you fix. Oh, Jazzy, you are right. We can stack it on our stackable boxes. Look at that. Jazzy, what a comeback. Like, what's that called? A follow back to your original... Look at that. We're like magicians here. Oh, that was a really good callback. Look at that. But now, do we remember the trick, everyone? So what's going to happen when we change wallpapers? The TV is going to delete. How do we fix it? We toggle move objects. Oh, oops. I didn't toggle it. I kept it the same. I'm trying to teach you all this trick because I know it's so painful. Oh, but now now it's deleting the table because this is too close to it. But it's not deleting the TV and stuff anymore. So, deleted. Okay. Now, what's the last topic we want to go over? Let's see. Wicked Pixel, if possible, do you know how to get an NPC to use an object or NPC autonomy interactions on objects? Yes, it's actually not that hard, but too complex for this. Just below your comment, Sims Lady linked my Discord, so if you want to head over there, I'm happy to help you there. Okay, last thing I'll cover today, and then I need to go make dinner and then start working on mods for you guys. But if there aren't any questions I answered here, feel free to comment them below too. I mean, I'll still stick around for a while. But for next time too, if there's something I didn't cover, let me know. Okay, so what I want to go over now is I think there's some stuff that you can't delete. Am I right? Am I right on that? There's some stuff in the apartments you can't delete. Is that what it is? So first I don't know what it is though. It's like a plaque, I think. I'm going to try and find it in here. But sometimes the debug items are really hard to find. Plaque. Is it this guy? I think it's this one, right? Okay, I'm gonna guess it's this one. So let's go next. Now, because in this case specifically, these cannot be deleted from apartments. What we'll want to do is we don't want to renumber. Okay, we want to. Yeah. Okay, Sinsley, we'll do the chalk outline next. I forgot about the dead body. That thing is so weird. We don't want to renumber this. If you want to be really sure about which one you're doing, you can do override. I think I did selective clone here. When you're doing a selective clone here, you can, if you toggle this renumber means you're not doing an override. Unchecking renumber means you are doing an override. And in this case, like I said before, we do want all swatches, but we don't need any of these guys. Actually, the only thing we need is the catalog. So, and we want to do all swatches because I think there's different variations, but maybe I'm wrong about that. So live stream tutorial, historical plaque. And for anyone else, I see our numbers went up. If there's anyone else who just joined us, there's lots we already covered before, like how to make objects stackable, how to make mirrors move up and down on the wall, how to make objects visible or not visible with walls up or down. We talked about making TVs slottable, stuff like that. So if you want to go back and watch it, those are at the beginning. Okay, yeah. Oh, there are a lot of them. They all say in memory of Walden White, though. Oh, maybe because I didn't clone everything. Is there any lore with these people that I don't know about? I don't know. Anyways, object catalog. Here's where most of these settings that we want to change reside. So we did do an override, and we'll go here and we'll see this guy checked. Look at all of these right here. These are where the problem is. Immovable by user, non-inventoriable by user, non-blueprintable. So basically, immovable by user means you can't move it. This means you can't delete it. This means the user can't delete it. This means you can't delete it at all. These mean basically they can't go into the gallery. So we don't really care about these. What we do care about are these. This means it can't go into even your household inventory. So maybe you guys would want to use that somewhere else. And again, here is that show object if wall down. In this case, maybe you want to move it or delete it. But this probably also, we probably wouldn't want to see it. So again, you need to go through here and make sure you are checking all of these. Again, the non-blueprintable, we don't really care about. We can uncheck it. I guess let's just uncheck it anyways. But that just means you can't upload it to the gallery. But the thing is, if you do upload this to the gallery, if the person doesn't have your override, I don't think that matters. I'm not positive on that one though, actually. But let's go and delete all these. The nice thing with these settings, and this is why I wanted to do a beginner's one, is a lot of these settings, they're pretty, described pretty well. So you kind of know what's going on by just looking at them. Oh, and another thing. Oh, okay, we can adjust height. I like how they gave you the ability to adjust the height on the wall, but not move it at all. That was a nice combination. It's thanks, Sims. Thanks for letting us move it up and down on the wall, but not at all. Cool. Here we go. So I have no idea what apartment has the body outline. That is so funny. Okay, we'll go find that next and fix that real quick. File save as, we'll move this to testing CC. And one thing too, maybe you guys want to do if you're making these for yourself, do an override folder. Make sure you're telling yourself it's an override so you know. And here's the other way you can do it. You can do the override this way as well. So body, it's chalk. Here we go. Okay. Again, with good practice, we are not working within our testing CC folder. I know I sound like a broken record, but that is important. So this is Ravasheen, chalk body. And the cool thing actually about doing this too is, like, let's say you did want to do like a Halloween like slot, for example. By making these movable, you can now use them at other places too. Oh, that is one thing I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you some stuff is hidden. Okay. So we're not going to be able to see this very well, but there we go. Oh, of course, I chose red not purposely. What options are there? Oh, so all three of these. The gnome's kind of cute little, it's kind of like Banksy style. They for sure made that Banksy. Doesn't he have a piece of artwork just like this? I feel like he for sure does. Look at that. It's like a cool llama. So some of these are actually pretty cool. Oh, clue floor. Okay. I love that little gnome. So this is, okay, this is me wanting to do stuff, but these would actually be cool as like wall stickers too, especially this one. Especially if it was like on a brick wall or something. That'd be like true Banksy style. I hope I'm saying his name right. Okay, so if you notice, this is the downside about doing the override versus the selective clone like I showed before, is you're going to get all of this extra stuff in here. So you're going to get all the string tables. That's okay. It works basically both the same. Again, we'll just filter by type. We'll go to Object Catalog and let's see. So this one doesn't let you delete it. It doesn't seem that way. Interesting. See, maybe it's a footprint problem. I wonder why it doesn't let you delete it. Is this the right one? Hi, Kim. Yeah, I will upload all of these. I'll upload these overrides, but I'll probably fix them to just have the specific spots. So okay, so I'm not seeing the fact that it's not deletable. Let me go. So this one might not be as easy as I thought, but let me go see. This is a tool I use a lot. Again, you could actually do this within Sims 4 Studio itself, but it's quicker for me to do it this way. So it does look like it actually has the option to destroy object. So I think we could shift click this in the game and destroy it. And let's see, clue visible, clue not visible. Art symbol, I was asking which one it was at, which apartment the outline was at, but I don't see it being, it looks like they're doing walk like an Egyptian. I don't see it being a non-movable thing, which is odd to me that it would be there, be like that. So I don't know why it doesn't let you move it. Oh, you don't think that's the one? Yeah, it says detective career. Yeah, these ones are detective. Right here. Clues chalk outline. I don't know. That's weird. But it does, I did look at the tuning and it does say you can shift click to delete it. But another possibility that you're not unable to delete it is because of this dev category flag right here. Oops. So one thing just in general, if there is a debug item you like and you want to use elsewhere, and you either want to pull it out of debug so it's not so hard to find, because unless you have the debug tool, it's hard. Oh, I'm in a different pack. Let's get to work. Oh, okay, I'm in a different pack. Well, just real quick while we're here, if we want to find these, right now they'd be kind of hard to find. So I'm actually just going to change these real quick. I'll use these for a different demonstration purpose. If you ever see this BO90, what you want is if you change, that's what's throwing it in debug. If we change this to an 80, 80 is like the default. So now these should actually show up in our regular catalog. In this case, we probably wouldn't want to do an override. We'd probably want to make a clone, just because these are used as clues. But just for the sake of showing you how to pull stuff out of debug, let's go ahead and throw these in there, and we'll give them a price. And the only reason you wouldn't want to override something like this is because these ones are used in an interaction for clues. So because they're specifically tied to like an event and stuff. But like I said, for our sake here, this is a demonstration of pulling it out of debug, and then we did make it so it should show up without being in debug and show under the rug category. You do, if you are ever trying to pull stuff out of debug and making it show up in your regular catalog, you want to give it a price, and you want to make sure that it has some sort of tag. So whether I tagged these as rug because they go on the floor. And then also the category flag you want to be 80. But if you just change that and leave it with no tag here and no price, it won't show up correctly. So we'll go through that guy. Oh, and remember our tool. I don't want to mess with that because it's an override, but let's just we'll throw that there. Ooh, I don't want to mess with this. Just because this is part of an interaction, these are used in specific cases. So this isn't the best example for pulling something out of override, but we'll do that. We'll leave it like that for now. Okay, so let's go find that. The real, is my volume too loud? I know I'm talking really loud into the microphone, so I can turn my volume down on my side. Okay, so let's go find, okay, so this was get to work. We should be in apartment living. I know that's not what it's called. City living? Is that what we should be in? Okay. And also, like I said before to some of you, some of this stuff is like just pretty fun to look at. Just looking through debug. Like I know a lot of people have asked for vents, and they actually have vents here. You could make a clone of and then pull them out of debug. If you can't see objects, like you can see if you hover over them, they have names, but it's not visible. There is a trick I'll show you. I've always loved these to look like these little soccer field. I've always wanted to do stuff with those, but I have not. Not enough time in the day. Okay, is this it? There's actually lots of planters in debug. Oh, look, here's the little mouse hole. I know there's a mouse that actually comes out of that, right? Oh, here we go. It's the same body. It's the same thing, though. You see that? Okay, so we have this guy. We'll go next. We are going to not renumber it. We are going to override this. We just want the catalog, but we want all swatches. like good practice, like good little creators and editors we are not editing within the mods folder. We're editing in our work in progress folder. City Living, Chalk Body, and like I try to always do, put override in capital letters so we know it's an override. And we should go here to Warehouse, Object Catalog. Okay, so see here, this is a dev category flag where you might not be able to see it in game. So I know that's why, little Deca, you don't edit in your mods folder. You don't do that. Okay, yep, so here we go. Immovable by user, non-deletable, non-inventoriable, blah, 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 blah. We'll take all those off. Okay. So this should now be able to delete. Okay, so we're going to go File, Save As, Testing CC, Override. Save that guy. All right, we're about to test like 3 things at once. So what we have done so far is we have overridden the plaques. We have overridden the chalk bodies, both of those so we could delete them. And we also took something from debug and we changed its settings so that way we could easily find it in build by mode. Woo, it is getting cold outside, guys, where I am at. I live by the mountains and it snowed here recently and my dog was playing in the snow all weekend. She loves it. And then she loves to like come and rub up on you when she's all wet. Oh, we can't go to the pancakes. We need to go to San Mushino. Is that how you say it? I think that's the first time I've ever said that out loud. Okay, so which one of these, let's see, you guys already told me. So 131321 chic, that is the one with the bodies. By the way, whenever I did play, I don't know if Mandy, my sister's still on here, I would either make her builds or I loved remodeling these apartments. So that's why I knew about the plaque thing. So 131321 chic. Oh, here we go. 2121 Chic Street. Can we see the body from this view? Is this the right place? You guys are on like a 10-second delay, so I'm kind of waiting to like see what you have to say. I don't know if this is the right one or not. I don't think so. Is there another Zen Chic? Oh, here's the land grab! The land grab apartments! Look! Is this where they live? Or is this just what they own? Left side, lower side, yes. Okay, so I was right. But which one? I don't even see it. Lower left side, this one. Where does it say? Like the one... Oh, here we go. Okay, got it. I see the name. Okay. See, I don't play around. Where is this body? Oh, is it like under the bed? No. Oh, there it is. Why would they do that? Why? Oh, and it even shows up above a rug, so you can't put a rug above it. Oh, what a shame. But look at this. No problem. Look at that. Maybe the dead body happened here. Actually, it would be kind of funny. I actually would have probably much more enjoyed if they had put it under a bed or something. 'Cause then you could have hide it later. Okay, Punking says you can hide it under a rug. There actually is a priority with rugs, which depends how how they stack over each other. So it's possible that it does. But anyways, it shows up even if you cover it with a platform. Okay, but you can see here I'm moving it and deleting it. Goodbye. Okay, so we have the dead body outline taken care of. Let's go fix a plaque. I'm pretty sure the plaques are in the historic apartments. But the cool thing is too, I think we'll look at the other little outlines. I think the little outline thing is cool for like if you were doing like a Halloween decoration. So okay. I'm pretty sure it's in one of these. Isn't there a plaque? I think there's a plaque in, I want to say this one, historical. It has a stink though. The outline has a stink? Oh, interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna go with this. You guys are on a delay for me, so I'm not sure. We'll just guess. But we're seeing that it's working. The stink trait, I can actually look at the tuning. The stink trait may be coming from, oh, yep, here we go. Here's a plaque. It could be coming from the outline. But if we did this right, we should be able to delete this guy. Boom! Look at that. Or honestly, I mean, these aren't bad, especially if you like downsized them. It'd be cool. Oh, that's so lame that you can't change this outside area. Because, you know, these would be cool out here. Not in here. But yeah, again, we can delete this, right? So that, fix that. Now, the one thing making changes to the catalog can't do is change editing these doors. I'm fairly certain. Unless those are specific doors. You know, these could be specific doors. I wonder if these are specific apartment doors. But you probably couldn't add a different door, though. Yeah. Interesting. We could do an experiment. We could. Yeah. I wonder if we could just... I wonder if we could just add something to other doors so they could be placed. Yeah, Little Deco, let's look into this tonight. Let's experiment. I kind of want to like do something with this. But I do want to show you those other rugs that we placed. We moved them out of debug and they should be easily found under rugs now. And I think I made them $10, so they should be like here. Yep, here we go. Look how cute that is. Oh, that is such like a little Banksy thing. So this would be way cuter on the wall though. But yeah, so this is one way you can move stuff out of debug. Oh, I love that little guy. He's so cute. And here, we can put him under the bed. I don't know if that one will stink or not, but. So yeah. Some you've only seen people change doors with the tool mod. Yeah, that is possible, but actually I think in this case, these doors, I can actually, I think these doors, like just like those plaques had a setting that said they couldn't be deletable and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there's a setting for doors where you can make them placeable, because like the elevators, I know you can place out there, right, or something. But here, we'll figure this out right here. This you guys won't have in your game. This is a object ID 334. Okay. You guys want, this is a specific mod for grabbing information. Okay. So I'll go take a look at this later. Well, you can, oh, you can get rid of the door. You can get rid of the door that way, but now you probably can't help. Oops, well, those people are locked out of their apartment. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, Little Deke and I will have to experiment with that later. Okay. Was there anything else I missed that I said remind me at the end if I don't tell you? Oh, okay. I will show you this one last thing, and then I need to go eat because I'm super hungry. But I'm going to tell you, please use this with caution because, so one thing that always really bothers me is if I want to look at an appliance like a microwave, you can't do it unless you place it on a counter. And then like you have to go and like delete the microwave you're trying to place or coffee pot or whatever, then place a countertop and then go place the appliance. So what you can do in this case, again, these were the earlier override settings. So I'm going to come here and make a clone of this. Like good practice, not like little Deca does. We are not going to work in our mods folder. We are going to work in our work in progress folder. So the thing is, unlike the TV, where the TV, I added the option for the microwaves to be able to go, or sorry, for the TV to go into regular slots. We do not want to do that with the microwave. The reason is because all of the animations, all of the interactions for the microwave are tied to the slot it's placed in. And that slot specifically is on a counter. So if you had gone in here and you added, I mean, maybe if you just want it for decor, you can go ahead and put a slotting size of 1 or whatever on here. But if you add a slot size here, it is going to be almost impossible for you to place this in the correct spot it needs in order to be usable. This is actually why a lot of people say, oh, can you make like a wall mounted microwave and stuff like that? The hard part is all of the animations are based off of a very specific slot that you can only find on counters. So that's a whole other thing. So we do not want to change or add a slot deco size here. Again, like I said, unless you only want to use it as decor and you don't care if it's functional. But what you can do is you can come in here and uncheck this requires slot. Now, what this will do is it'll allow you to place it like on the ground if you want to see it really quickly. Like I said, you can add the slot deco size here, but the thing with counters, and I actually have this on my website, I'll show you why it's so hard. I mean, you can take the time and try and get it to the right place if you want. Let me zoom out. But let me see. It was something with cupcakes, tips for decorating cupcakes. So this is the same thing with cupcakes and cakes. By the way, this is on my website too. This kind of explains why it's so hard to place stuff. I actually made this placement helper just in order to help you get the stuff in the like your pastries in the right place. And this is because if you were to enable like the slotting into deco slots of the microwave, it would be just as hard to get it in the right spot as it is to decorate cakes. Now, if you see, I have an example here. So on the counter, these are all of the non-valid slots you could put something into. And then these 2 slots are the only like valid slots in order for it to be functional. So you can see why if you were to, let me zoom in on that. So you can see if you were trying to place something, you have like 15 options that don't work and only 2 options that do work. So just keep that in mind if you are trying to edit like the microwave or something, and you want to add that here. But one thing you can do is at least remove the requirements for it to have a slot. That way you could just place it in the game to see what it looks like without needing like a counter to place it on. But with that, you all, I am hungry and I'm going to go eat dinner, and then little Dika and I are going to go. I'm so curious. We should definitely go look into that. Hopefully you're going to be up a little bit later, but I had so much fun. Thank you everyone who was here today. I hope this was helpful for beginners. And I know I was like beating a dead horse, as they say, with some of these practices, but I really hope it helps you, because last thing you want to do is create changes that kind of break the game. So if anyone who is watching this later, if you have more questions, I try to respond to comments on YouTube, but you can also always join my Discord and ask more questions there. And if you have more questions for tutorial in the future too, I will try and cover those. But, oh great, and Carl Sims guys just got here. Well, we're wrapping up. I need to eat, but I had a wonderful time with you guys. Happy Sunday, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.